The annual Musicounts Award recognizes Canadian music teachers who strive to preserve the livelihood of music education. Among this year's 5 nominees is Emily Dominey from Dundas Valley Secondary School in Hamilton.
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, what does it mean to be nominated?
It's actually insane. It's probably the most exciting experience I will ever have in my life, in my career as a music teacher. I feel very honored that my colleague, Brittany Langlotz at Dundas Valley, and a student of mine nominated me.
Yeah.
It's very touching.
Now, were you surprised with their nomination, or were you like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'm doing this?
No, I was completely surprised. So Nick from Musicounts called me one day. I was actually with my band at one of our elementary schools doing a performance for them.
Okay.
And then I got this phone call saying, hey, you need to call me back. We got some big news for you. So when we had a break, I called him back and it was, hey, you're invited to come to Vancouver for the Junos because you've been nominated for this award.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back a little bit to your history. How did you become a music teacher in the first place?
Well, I grew up playing piano like most of my life. I think I started when I was about 5, and then I continued with that throughout elementary school, and when I got to high school I started playing the trumpet. But it was really in grade 12 when we had a new music teacher come to our school, Robin Meyer, who still is at Salt Fleet High School.
That's awesome. Hi, Robert.
Who is just like a really big inspiration to me, and just really inspired me to pursue music post-secondary. And then when I was considering becoming a teacher, I did some volunteering with her to see if I would like the job.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then I pursued Teachers College.
Good for you. It's like very rare do people figure it out at that young of age.
Yeah.
You know, grade 12, you already knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Why do you think it's important that we keep music in schools? I know we all have our own kind of personal reasons why we think it is, but in the wider scope.
I think the music and the arts are just an outlet for students to really be able to express themselves, to learn like discipline and how to regulate emotions, work as a team, especially when playing in a band context. So there's lots of those like soft skills, if you want to call them, that students learn. But I think especially like after the pandemic, you can see how, and during the pandemic, how music was so important to a lot of these students to get them through and cope.
Yeah, it's true. We don't realize how important music is, but people think, oh, I always have it on in the background. Well, there's a reason why they do, right? How do you think your presence in the classroom really kind of brings out the best in your students?
Oh.
I know, that's a tough, hard-hitting one. But what do you think that you bring that, is different from maybe other teachers?
I think I just try to bring a lot of energy. I think my students would say maybe I'm kind of quirky, nerdy, get excited about, band, and I'm always trying to hype it up. And so, yeah, just trying to be like really excited about opportunities that we can do as a music department. Yeah,
I think it's a lot of fun. We didn't have music in my high school, unfortunately, but I did play the violin when I was little, and I was like, and I loved it, and my parents really encouraged all of us to be in music. We were a musical family, so I think it's really great that this charity focuses specifically on really trying to empower kids and give them all the tools that they need to pursue that. Yeah. I think it's great. Yeah. Well, good luck at the Junos.
Awesome.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed for you. We're going to be cheering for our local celebrity here. And tell Michael Bublé we say hi, right?
I will.
Yeah. The winner is being announced at the Junos. And when are the Junos? I can't even remember.
Next weekend.
Next weekend. My goodness, they're coming up so fast.